Oh, hey, we're live. Are we live?
Yay!
Live. Hey, everybody. It's Joel with Coreware.
Hey, we need to record this day down
Why?
because it's probably the first webinar we've started on the dot.
It is on the dot. Well, we haven't really started it yet. We usually give everybody a minute to show up late.
Oh, I thought we were starting.
Ezra got here literally 15 seconds ago.
And I'm leaving in about 15 seconds. So.
Me too. Wits, have fun.
Well, Wits has this. Why do we have so many moderators here?
No idea.
Oh.
I gave the invite to 3 people, you, Wits, and Josh. So I think Josh is the leaker. Hey, so today we're going to be talking about UTMs. They're called urchin tracking modules. I like calling them use this method to earn more money, because you're going to stop wasting your ROI, or you're going to stop wasting money and you're going to see a huge ROI on your marketing efforts. And this is magical stuff. This is the stuff that I've always been excited about since the very beginning, since we've had a coreILLA, since we've had an email platform to be able to, for you guys to give your customers an Amazon experience. Like, I know it's creepy, but I still like seeing emails from Amazon showing me items that are related to items that I've looked at in the past. That's cool to me, because we all live in this digital landscape where you really don't have a whole lot of privacy. If you don't want privacy, get rid of your phone and throw all your computers away, right? Because we're all
and move to another country.
Move to another. I don't even think that's going to be possible soon, but maybe move to Appalachia.
I was looking at dual citizenships, and did you know that Dominica is not the Dominican Republic? I learned something new last night. Have you ever heard of Dominica?
It's not the Dominican Republic?
It's not, and it's a Caribbean island that looks really pretty. So if I ever disappear, I'm just giving you a little hint. This is to see how much attention you're paying. But what's interesting with Dominica is you can actually have a dual citizenship.
Wow.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're an American citizen, you can have dual citizenship and run for Congress. That's pretty interesting. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go there. Sorry. No, but hey, this stuff is really exciting. It's gonna allow you to send out some targeted emails. And I know it's gonna do a lot more. Wits corrected me earlier. However, most of us currently are sending out emails. You're sending out emails with links to your products. Wouldn't it be nice to know who's looking at these links, so that maybe next week I can show them more of what they're looking at? But it actually.
And Joel, let me jump in here, because I want to make sure. So yeah, this webinar is specifically focusing on UTMs, which I didn't know stood for what? Urchin
tracking module.
Urchin tracking module, basically whatever that means.
Tag. Yeah, it's a tag.
Yeah, just so I want everyone to understand what the goal of this webinar is and what it's not. We're not introducing the, hey, follow me type marketing tools. UTMs are used to, it's really simple, and it took me a long time to understand it. But to me, the most value that a UTM has is, obviously we can track the source of where someone is, came from originally. But at the end of the day, the biggest question that every customer has, right, is what was the actual results of my campaign, right? What revenue did I produce? It's as simple as that. That is the biggest use, and Wits, again, you're the expert, but correct me if I'm wrong. That's really what we're talking about. There's 10 million different tools to track what your customers are looking at, Google Analytics, all this other stuff. Everyone has it. But what you find, what's lacking in a lot of email campaign platforms is the ability, everyone does abandoned cart and this and that. But at the end of the day is, how much money did this email campaign produce, right? And then when you know how much money it produced, you can look at what the cost is. We don't know what your cost is. Again, I always say time is money, but at the end of the day, you want to look at your profitability on anything that you do, right? And time is money, right? Or you're paying someone, right, to produce that campaign. So So yeah, I think this is a very exciting but straightforward webinar today, where we're that's the main focus, and we're going to teach you all about, I think, how to create a UTM. And I didn't talk to Wits before this. If I had time, I would have. But my expectation is we're all going to learn, how to just create a UTM, how to assign it to your email campaign, specifically to each product
Yep.
link that you make, and then
Yep.
where do you go to see the results?
Yep.
And whether you're using coreILLA or not, this is definitely a beneficial webinar, because you'll learn what you should expect, right, from your marketing platform. We'll show you how it works in coreILLA. If you're using something else, again, that's totally up to you. We have everything integrated, makes it a lot easier. But yeah, that's really, and it took me, it's interesting. UTMs were something that Wits and I spent many hours trying to figure out the best way to implement, how to keep it simple, how to, it just seemed like one of these black box mysteries of, big marketing platforms that charge tons and tons of money to even, get to the point where you can do this. So, but it's not, and that's what we're here to do, is break it into simplicity and, tell you how we implemented it with coreILLA.
Yeah. So I can, dive into this topic, but it is going to sound a little bit technical, but we're going to break it down for everyone, step by step, and make sure that, everybody understands how to, first, what the UTM is, and second, how you can use it properly, and then how you can use coreILLA to actually track performance. So simply put, UTM is just a way for you to track any marketing activity, the performance of any marketing activity. So it doesn't have to be email. It can be a social media campaign. It can be an ad. It can be even in your store. If you have a QR code that you want people to scan and it goes to a specific landing page, the link, basically, you can add a UTM to that. So UTM is just a set of tags, and I can show that to you in a bit, that you add after the real URL that you will be sending your visitors to. And these tags help us understand the traffic, or the website traffic, where it's coming from, and how effective that specific campaign is. So I'll share my screen. Joel, if you could help me do that.
So Wits,
There you
basically
go.
you're gonna help us put a
Got
dollar
it.
amount on an actual URL.
Exactly. So,
Okay.
so this is one of our demo stores. So I'll show you how to first. I'll show you how to build a UTM. And we actually have I have a coreILLA here, and we added a new menu item that will be available by tomorrow for everyone, which is basically we've integrated the Google Analytics campaign URL builder in coreILLA. So within coreILLA, you can actually build your UTMs. And it may seem overwhelming because it has all these different fields and short codes and all that, but basically what it is, for example, you have a website, right? Your website, and you want to focus on specifically Glock items. So I have a pre-built email template made by our content team. So shout out to our content team. So if you guys want beautiful email templates made for your promos and deals, we can do that for you. So just a quick uh, promo
A
bit
quick
there.
plug. There you
A
go,
quick
Wits.
plug. Yeah, quick plug. So So this is an example of your typical email template, right? And normally you have these images. I have an image here for the Glock. I have an image for the optics. I have images. I have this banner for holsters and gear and all these different things. Now, normally, what you would do is for this image, you want to link them to, let's say, for example, this page, right? Because this is where people can view your Glock items. But in order for you to track uh, how much money you actually made from this email campaign, you want to add a UTM UTM tags, basically. So,
which is basically, I mean, what it boils down to, and correct me if I'm wrong, a UTM is just a unique code, right? It's a unique code to track, so it helps me later on figure out, where did that visitor or purchaser come from, from what marketing effort? Because maybe I have the email, but maybe I'm also putting in, again, bad example, Facebook wouldn't allow us, but maybe I'm putting in an ad on X or Rumble, right? I'm putting in a little video on Rumble
or Reddit.
Maybe I want, or Reddit or something. So in theory, right, I would create separate codes to each, because that way I can see, hey, you know what? I spent some money on Rumble because it's a paid ad. Reddit was free. My email campaign, I spent some money because I paid these amazing core tent people some money. So it cost me. So I want to know, right? I have the same campaign going in 3 different ways. And at the end of the day, I want to track, okay, what worked best and how much money did it produce? If I spent, let's say a couple $100 on Rumble, I want to make sure that, that specific effort paid off.
Yep. That is correct. So basically, to create the UTM, I just get this specific the URL that I want to use, and then using this campaign URL builder, I will put in that URL. For campaign ID, you can skip this. Normally, this is used if you're using an ad. Campaign source. So your source will be basically the source of where this link is coming from. So for
Reddit or email or okay.
So for example, we'll use coreILLA email, for example, and then for medium, it's either social media, Facebook, Google, or in this case, it's email. And then for campaign name, we'll just call it March Madness 2024. It can be anything.
I got a question real quick. So, the campaign name can be anything. So it's not matching up actual campaign names of coreILLA campaigns.
So you can basically design it in such a way that you can name your coreILLA campaign, and then when you build the campaign URL, the UTM, you'll just use the same name.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just to make things easier.
Right.
And then for campaign content, so
that's optional, right?
Yes, but in this case, what you want to do is you want to have different campaigns. So this is an entire campaign. This email is an entire campaign, but what you want to do is you have different UTMs for all these different images and links. So the way for you to basically differentiate these links is by saying this is specifically for the Glock. And then if I create another UTM for the optics, I'm just going to use the same campaign name, but for the campaign content, I'll use optics, since it all falls under the same campaign, basically. So now, this new campaign URL is what I'm going to use. So if you notice, this is my original URL.
Mhm.
And then now it added all these other tags to my original URL. And this is what I'm going to use to link this image
In your email.
in my email. Yeah. And so on and so forth. Basically, for each of these images or links or buttons, I would want to have a specific UTM. Or if the campaign is simple, you're only showcasing, one thing, then, you can just create one UTM, right? And the way it works is, especially with CoreForce, you now have the ability that, once you launch this email campaign. So for example, I'm just going to save this. And then I'm just going to preview it so people can see. So, this basically simulates if you receive the email, this is what it's going to look like. And then I see the email. This, is something I would want. I click on it, and then this will basically lead me to the same page that I used earlier, but now it has all these different tags after that particular URL. So
No, go ahead. I think you're about to answer my question.
No, go ahead.
So that page is worth tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm wondering if somebody adds a product from that page, is that how you're gonna determine, hey, yeah, is it going to continue to tag it as it goes? Once it goes through that door of the UTM and it clicks on something else from that springboard, I guess you will, it's going to always track it, right?
Yes, it's always going to track it. So whether the person
and we should be clear on that, actually, when we're talking about that before Wits you get into the detail, I just want to be clear. We are talking about in our situation, meaning you're using coreILLA, right? And you're using CoreForce, because we connected the two. So yes, and Wits, if you can explain how, because it's not, what's neat about this, Joel, is even if Wits leaves the page completely, at this point, this is the latest campaign that he hit. So every visit right now we're going to associate with that campaign for a certain amount of time.
For 7 days.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
for
gotcha.
7 days.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So the reasoning behind that is, if you think about it, so I send you an email, Joel, right, on Glocks. You pull it up on your phone, you're in the middle of a bunch of things. You're like, oh, looks like, Outdoor Adventure is having a great sale on Glocks. I love Glocks. Okay, I'm in the middle of something, but I want to come back and look at it later. And then you're like, hey, you know what? Maybe I can't really afford the Glock right now. There's some good prices, but 2 days later, you're like, hey, you know what? I really like their website and I just want to purchase a cleaning kit, right? Well, we still want to attribute, right, you purchasing that cleaning kit back to that original campaign, because that is how you got to the latest time, right? You got there through that particular marketing campaign. So even though the marketing campaign is for Glocks, I'm still looking at it saying, hey, you know what? That you still originated, right, from that, specifically that Glock banner. Even if you ended up purchasing something that's not even a Glock, right? And we persist that for a week, did you say? Is that a week worth, Wits? A week. A week. Unless there's a new campaign, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I get the email.
It gets the latest one, basically.
Yeah.
So I get the email, I visit the site, can't do anything right now. 2 days later, I go back to that same page on my phone. And then I click.
Or a different page.
So I can go to any page on their website. So it's just.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
from that device. Now, if you're already an identified, meaning you purchased a year ago, right? So
Right.
we already know who you are. You
Right.
could, in theory, jump between devices and we still can attribute it. If
Right.
you're an anonymous user and jumping between devices, in theory, we may not, in other words, you saw it in the car, right? You clicked it, but you're driving, you can't be shopping while you drive, unless you're in my car, which maybe sometimes won't crash you. But that's a whole side discussion. But you go home, and you're like, oh, let me go visit the site. You don't check your email. You don't go through your email. You just pull up Outdoor Adventures. At that point, we may or may not be able to know that you're the same individual. So that depends again on, if you had an account, etc. So, but if you're on the same device, absolutely, you could be going to the homepage, right, when you got home on that same device, and we would attribute that.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So now that we know all about that, like how, basically all these, succeeding sales will be attributed to that specific UTM, how do we now basically connect CoreForce to coreILLA? Because that's what we want to show also, is on top of, the value of using UTMs for our CoreForce customers, also using coreILLA, how do we now connect the two? So I can show that right now, because you can view that via coreILLA. So there's two steps. There are two parts to integrating CoreForce to coreILLA. The first part is basically you need to reach out to our customer support, because they need to give you a very specific connection key that you will use as you build your coreILLA UTM tracker. So, and I'm just gonna use the connection key from the Outdoor Adventures demo e-commerce store. So I have that here. So I'm just gonna go to the dashboard. I'm going to add a dashboard. I'll just call it the UTM tracking. And then I'm going to add a widget, objects, embed. We'll call it the UTM tracker. For the URL, it's going to be.
So by the way, as you fill this out, I assume we would do this for the customer, right?
Yes, you will
We'd
do
be
this
saying,
for the
okay,
customer.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
So I'm just showing how it's done, so people will see.
So they would just go to help.coreware.com?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So it doesn't actually show anything yet. Wait. Let me just make sure I'm doing it right.
We definitely need to do this for them if Wits is having problems.
No, I did it wrong. I did it wrong. I need to do it again.
That's okay. Joel and I can fill in the dead air and the awkwardness of this moment.
Yeah.
Everyone
Not
has
live,
that
but-
moment, Wits. I mean,
We're
we
not
might
live.
give you a hard time about it for the next year, but don't feel bad at how you embarrass this entire company in front of the thousands of viewers in this webinar, which
Yeah.
we've definitely broken records today, Joel.
I know. Hey, in all seriousness, Ezra, when I first started, you and I were talking to some people about, Google Analytics and all this other stuff. And I remember briefly dipping my pinky toe into UTMs, and that was way over my head. I don't know how we've done it, but we've greatly simplified the process of just creating a UTM. That's huge. I mean, I know it shouldn't be that special since we're, 2 or 3 years removed, but that's a big deal to be able to easily create a UTM now and give you guys that power. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, like I said, it was kind of a black box and from a marketing agency standpoint. So I kept digging into it, and I ended up going through all of these rabbit holes. And then the more I looked at it, I'm like, okay, this is a lot simpler than we're even making it. And our goal is to create even a more simplified UTM builder that'll be coming up next. So we have a link to it. It's the Google one, but we'll probably create our own. So it's a little easier for our customers to just create the UTM right within coreILLA. We'll fill out some of the information for you, hopefully, and make it even easier. But even the way Whit showed it, it's pretty straightforward once you do one or two of them. And at that point, you just need to remember when you're building the email, or let's say it's a banner ad, it's the same thing. You instead of just taking the URL that you normally do, you just literally take it from that UTM builder, and it's a very long URL, but it doesn't matter. You just copy paste. And at that point, that's when, it really, the power really starts showing up. And the beauty is you can start seeing what the results are, in terms of, obviously you've got the results that you can look at, especially on an email, right? You have the normal coreILLA stats that show you how many people clicked, how many people opened the email, et cetera. But then there's always the disconnect. Okay, they clicked it, and I think I got a purchase, but did they really purchase, right? Or, did it really, was it a purchase as a result of that email, et cetera? So this is where, and again, it should be very basic stuff, but typically you're not seeing these types of features in, the affordable solutions like coreILLA. They mask these things as extremely complex, and therefore you need a more enterprise solution.
So to clarify, because I'm confused a little bit, if I get an email and Whit's included the UTM for the Glock, but he also included one for the optics, how does that? Is there a way to differentiate, or should the email be based
there is
upon? Okay.
No, there's definitely a distinction, right? Because you might have clicked the optics, right? Let's say it's I don't know, Leopold, right? And there's the Glock. So it's going to base it based on the last link that you clicked. Right now, a lot of emails, what's important here is a lot of emails are going to a specific product, not just a category of products.
Right.
So obviously on that link, hey, that's that specific Glock, that's the exact Glock 19 that, I wanted to sell, and that's exactly what they clicked on. But again, it gets really interesting, right? Because you can really start tracking, what happens. And what's interesting is you can actually see this is a great example, because let's say what we sent out this email and it's highlighting Glocks, forget even the optics, right? But we have a bunch of people buying SIGs from that email. That's an interesting thing too, right? Is to say, hey, what products did people purchase? Not just, hey, we sent out an email for Glock, but for whatever reason, they bought a bunch of SIGs. Why? That might be interesting. It might also be interesting to see, hey, we did this campaign for Glocks, and suddenly we see all these, I don't know, accessories, let's say holsters being purchased as well. There's all kinds of things you can do with this. Again, I always say the hardest part of this is time, right? Because it's great to have tools, right? It's great to have, everyone can talk about, I got this tool, I got that tool, I got that tool. And everyone can have pretty dashboards and all this. But you know what? At the end of the day, if you, the owner of the business, isn't taking time, and I'll take the self-critique myself, I don't look at certain things. I need to pay attention more to some of the dashboards that I have, because again, as a business owner, you've got to set time to the side. You can't outsource everything, right? So maybe maybe you've been convinced by this webinar that, Cortent is a great team to create your email campaigns, right? But at the end of the day, you need to tell the team what is going to be in that email, right? And at the end of the day, you as the business owner or marketing manager, whatever your role is, you need to take the time to actually start looking at the data that we're producing and making the decisions, right? And figuring out, hey, this email campaign generated $10,000 versus this email campaign generated only 5,000, right? Why is that? We won't, and we'll never have all of those answers, but the more we can make it accessible and the more we can make it simple to look at, you, the business owner, marketing manager, sales manager, whoever you are, can start making more informed decisions and more, decisions on, maybe it's something as simple as, you know what, I had one email campaign. It was literally selling very similar things. One sold 10,000, one sold 5,000. But I realized that the difference is I sent one on a Sunday and I sent another one on a Wednesday, right? It could be something as simple as that. It could be just luck of the draw. It could be someone bought an expensive item. So really it's, you got to eliminate that high priced item and you end up with the same, type of result. So,
Right.
you can really get confused by all of this, right? Because we are in an age where you have a complete information overload. There's no question about that. The age of AI is great, but we have more information at our fingertips,
Right.
not less, right?
Right.
And AI may not, you can throw all this data and say, hey, I had two campaigns, one produced 10,000, one produced 5,000. Here's the information. Why did it do that? It may not come up with the right answer, right? You, the
Right.
business owner who knows your business, may come up with the answer. But
Right.
at the end of the day, the key is can we, as a company, as CoreAware, provide more and more tools for our customers that are easy enough? We're not saying this is the simplest thing, but it's also not that complex, right?
Right.
And again, we can do some of these things for you, but I definitely encourage all of our customers, if you're doing your current email campaigns anyway, right, you're building links, it's one extra step. You're just building
Right.
a new link and we give you a tool to do it. So it really is super simple, I swear. Coming up with the little pieces might be the hardest part, but we absolutely can help you with that. But at the end of the day, you're just creating another link, and yet look at what you end up with, Joel. And
Right.
and this is what Wits, did I burn enough time for you to get the data right?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Okay, I'll shut up now.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I'm gonna do a test purchase basically, and you'll see how that particular transaction is going to reflect on the coreILLA dashboard. So going back, I clicked on this link. It's gonna give me the UTM. Oh, there you go. All right. So, browsing. I like this. So I'm just going to add to cart. And then I'm decided, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to check out now. Cart CoreAware. All right. And then I'm going to do start checkout. Just use store pickup. I'll do, that's my number. Do next. I'll just do cash payment. Put in my stuff. All right, next. I'm not a robot. 9.
At least that we know of.
Yep.
No, we
Is he
do
a
know.
robot, Joel?
We do
Oh,
know,
you
and
do?
he
Yeah.
is.
All right. Place order. Oh, did I miss anything?
Oh, invalid CAPTCHA. You
Oh,
didn't put your CAPTCHA. Oh, it looks like it's valid.
just gonna refresh.
Do we need to call support on this, Joel?
Yeah, want me to get somebody on from support?
I don't know. Larry's right there, I think. Or she was.
Yeah,
Her
she's the one who
name's
built
there.
all this, right? Yeah. It doesn't work, Larry.
I'm just gonna check out. I think I have everything here. Store pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks
next.
good.
I'll do cash payment.
So just some questions from the audience. If you're using coreILLA, and you're using CoreForce and you want to start using this, definitely you can put a help desk ticket in if you want to do it yourselves. Also, and again, this is not me trying to sell. We can also help you create campaigns. That's what we have a separate team for. It's very affordable. So if you want to come up with the idea of, hey, I want to promote Glocks this week, that team can start creating the emails for you. And you can specifically specify that you want to start tracking the results of a campaign. I don't know why you wouldn't. I think that would be a given. Are we good now?
I think I figured it out. I think the state I'm restricted by state.
Oh, you're in a restricted state.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I think that's the issue.
Wow.
I'm just gonna pick a different firearm.
Hey, so real quick, just using common sense, Ezra made a good point. You're selling Glocks, right? You send this campaign out. You notice that they're buying like tons of SIG. You may need to realize that you have two different audiences. One is in your store and one is online. So people that come in your store regionally, locally, they may be more interested in Glock, right? Then you have other people that you're emailing to, they may be interested in SIG. So that's something to keep in mind, and a good way to separate these groups when you're sending these emails out, because if those people are not buying, Glock, but they're willing to buy a bunch of SIGs, maybe start really targeting them with more SIG, content.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So if we imagine that we did sell the item, so the next step is, in that dashboard, we would see that purchase immediately.
Yes.
Okay.
Would we see we would see the individual purchase, or just the total?
No, you'll see the total.
Okay.
Amount. So let me just try not store pickup. I'll just do delivery.
And then while you're doing that, do we have a report within CoreForce that then can show? I think we do, right? That shows by UTM or by campaign the detail of what was purchased.
Yes. So you'll add it in the content. You can just be more specific in the content section of the UTM.
And yeah, we'll double check with the CoreForce team, but I'm pretty sure there is going to be a report within CoreForce that shows you all of the different items that were purchased within, that campaign. Because again, that's where it gets interesting, Joel, is being able to see what products were purchased as a result of a campaign that may not have even been in that campaign.
Right.
So. All right, we'll give it one more shot here.
So while we're waiting, our next AI webinar is probably going to be on April 3rd. And this is something that we can go into, building someone that can read these different reports. Because again, like Ezra said, you can have all the tools in the world, but if you don't take the time to use them, that's, we've only got 24 hours in a day. And the only thing that AI or any of these tools do is they augment and magnify what you're capable of. So it's like a lot of people aren't getting excited about AI. And it's like, it's not that we can't do what AI can do. It's that AI can do it a trillion times faster. So you can immediately look at tons and tons of data and start coming up with solutions before we're finished with the first paragraph. So having reports like this and just being able to throw stuff and have this information come back at us is a really a huge game changer. I've seen it work for people online, how they're just doing some magical stuff. So all this stuff's going to start coming together. Things are going to start getting really, really interesting, I think, in the next few months. Because all this information's floating around out here, and it can be, I like saying weaponized, but maybe that's not the right term, but it can be utilized, to your benefit.
Yep.
So
For
did
sure.
it work?
Yep, it worked. So order total is 1,025.47. So if I hit refresh, this one, let me see. It should show. Let me just hit refresh.
And that's a really nice feature too, is the dashboard flexibility in coreILLA. That's been pretty recent, that you can totally modify your dashboard. And it looks
Yep.
like, so that shows you a summary of all the campaigns. Yeah, and we
Yep.
see the March Madness. Nice.
Yep. There you go. There you go. So to orders, there's an initial order earlier. The test.
Yeah.
I did a test earlier. And
That's
then
awesome.
so if you're looking at different campaigns, this
Yeah.
is where you see it. And if you want to look at the content specifically, for example, via the Glock content, I see that I have 2 orders. So this is how, if you want to identify per
Oh,
product or per category, this is the content
gotcha.
field is where you're going to be what you're going to be using. If you want to look via source, so let's say
Yeah.
you have coreILLA, you have social media, Reddit, Twitter, all these.
Nice.
That's also it allows you to track that. And then Medium is obviously either email, SMS, or if you have other channels that you use.
Yep.
This is also
Nice.
it allows you to also track that. So it's a pretty nifty tool. Basically gives you an idea of how much money you're making from these different marketing activities. So again, not just about email, although we're using coreILLA for the example that we did is the email. It's an email campaign, but if you have other other activities, like if you're posting on Reddit, instead of just posting a link to your website, you create a UTM, and then it
Yeah.
allows you to actually track that easily.
That's
In
huge.
coreILLA.
And
Yeah.
and I think that's something even core where we could use ourselves, because we do different webinars, we do different email campaigns. We're going to start doing more advertising. What I'd like to see is I'll act as a customer. What I'd like to see is the ability next is to, okay, I've got a specific campaign, and I see I have the $1,700. I'd like to drill into that and show me that 1,700, show me the order list, right? What the orders were, and then let me drill into that and actually be able to see what items were ordered, right? So I would want to expand this dashboard even more. I know you guys hate when I look at things, because the first time I saw the dashboard, it was
It didn't look like
unusable.
It didn't look like this.
It looks fantastic. So you guys did a great job, and I think we can definitely expand even more, just to help our customers even further, and help Coreware again when we start using this.
Yeah. So this is only the beginning. As everyone knows, all our coreILLA customer they all know we keep adding features to coreILLA. So this is just one of those features that we will keep building on.
This is massive. This is so massive. Because again, it literally can help you figure out what are your marketing efforts doing, because I guarantee you everyone in the audience is marketing in multiple ways, right? You're marketing on email. Some of you have radio ads, some of you have TV ads, some of you do podcasts, some of you guys do YouTubes, and some of you advertise in just the local newspaper, right? And there's so many sources of ads, and some of them you can capture, some of them you can't, right? But just being able to start looking at, the ones that you can capture, right? Anything digital, or even if you do a mail out, right? You could put a QR code with a link, right? And we can help tell you how to do that. But if you do postcards, for example, you decide, hey, I'm going to send up just locally, I'm going to send a bunch of postcards, see, if people buy online. Again, it becomes so powerful because for me as a business owner, I don't mind spending on marketing. I do mind spending on marketing and not being able to figure out what's my return on investment, right?
Yep.
So every trade show that we do, we're trying to get better at, okay, what was the result of that trade show? Some of these trade shows cost us a fortune. And I can, logically think to myself, okay, I think I spent, this much and I got this much, but at the same time, as a business, we throw so much money at things that we kind of sit there scratching our head. Okay, was that worth it? And that's where this has become so powerful. And again, if coreILLA costs you, whether you're on, the low plan, depending on how many emails you send out, you want to be able to justify your marketing tools. You want to be able to justify the time that you're spending. So you want to be able to track these results and not just think, hey, I'm sending out emails. Is it really working? Right. And am I seeing an increase in sales? You can judge that yourself, but what is causing that increase of sales? Maybe it's not your email campaigns, right? Maybe you're getting $0 from your email campaigns. What does that tell you? Maybe you need to change them up a little, change the times you're sending them at, make them more exciting, provide better value. But without being able to see this number, at the end of the day, it all boils down to simplicity. I'm going to look at a campaign, tell me how much money I made. That's it. Now, we can't tell you how much profit you made because there are too many factors, right? But we can certainly tell you how much money you made from that campaign. And obviously, the profit, and I'm not talking about the cost of goods sold. We know that. We give you that. We give you profit reports. I'm talking about the cost of the marketing campaign. And you need to figure that out. Just, you can ballpark it, right? If you have someone that works for you that's spending 4 hours for each email campaign, you're spending whatever it is, $100, right, on each email campaign, whatever it might be. So that's where this is. I'm so excited about this because to me, this helps me hopefully, right, decrease costs, increase sales, increase profits, right? That's the whole key is how many of these tools can I look at? Because again, at the end of the day, I'm sending 100,000 emails. Okay, well, so what? I mean, is it getting you anywhere?
Yeah.
It doesn't help. And quite frankly, if you hone in and really figure it out, even if you have an email list of 1,000, you could do a whole lot more sales than you're doing now if you start figuring out, what is working and what's not working. So don't be discouraged if your email list is 1,000 or it's 500 or if it's 2,000. You still want the same marketing efforts because the easiest person you can sell to is your existing person in your list or an existing customer, right? It's the same for coreware. I can more easily sell an existing customer of coreware and tell them, hey, you could really benefit from coreILLA because of these reasons. It's all integrated. It's this, that, right? It's a lot harder if I have a new customer who doesn't know us and they look at us and they're like, what do you guys do? You have a lot of products, right? Whole lot easier if I have someone already in here, which we have several, existing customers here. It's just easier, right? So it's the same thing for you. You want to just keep you want to build your marketing list, right? You want to build that email list. You want to keep, social exposure. But a lot of this has to do with, okay, everyone's buying online. What you want to do is make sure they're buying from you. And that's where you want to look to see, okay, what am I doing to try to help that? Am I telling my customers that I can get any product they're looking for online? Am I properly delivering that message? Don't, support local. You don't pay transfer fees, things like that. And then I can look and see, hey, how successful was that?
Yeah. There's actually another interesting application for UTMs. So let's say, for example, you keep sending out these, email campaigns, right? You can, after a while, you'll have enough data to actually tell you what specific categories or products are actually making money. based off these email activities or email campaigns. So that also, and it's not just, not just tracking the performance, but it basically tells you more about your customers and what are the products that they like. And that tells you, to either stock up on these products or to actually highlight them in your succeeding marketing campaigns. So on top of the revenue report, it also tells you, you know, which campaign made more money, and it tells you what you'll do next, basically, and improve on. Because for all you know, in your head, this staying out a free shipping promo sounds like a good deal, but if you don't actually make money from that, then don't do it anymore. Basically, and you'll be surprised with the amount of information you'll get after a few months or a few email campaigns that you run using this particular feature. It just gives you more insight about your business, about your customers, and it allows you to recalibrate basically your strategy moving forward. All right.
Cool.
I think that's it for UTM. Again, we'll be building off more. We're going to be baking more features into this specific the UTM stuff for coreILLA.
And Wits, just to be clear, the features that we showed today, they're available to everyone using coreILLA and
They are,
Coreforce,
yes,
right?
they are
No
available to
extra
everyone.
cost. There's
No
no,
extra cost.
we'll set them up at no extra cost, right? Unless they need
Sure.
help with us doing a campaign for them. Okay. And
Yes.
Wits, you mentioned the content services, which, again, that means your team can put together email campaigns and create all the links for someone. If I wanted to hire a content team just to do an email exactly like you're showing, and maybe as a one-time deal, can I do that, or do I have to sign up to a subscription?
So we can do like a one-time deal if you just need us to create a branded email template that you can use now and forever. We can do that for you. But we also have
How much would that be?
For a promo price
I'll put you on the spot.
for everyone that's attending this webinar, we'll just do it for $100.
Wow, awesome!
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And then you do also offer a subscription service if I decide, hey, I actually like what you did, I value my time.
Yes.
I can pay you monthly, and you'll produce whatever, you'll give me a quote for what it would take if I want to produce 2 emails a week, right?
That is correct. So we also have some of our coreware customers that are subscribed to like a monthly content services. Basically, we help them with their marketing activities, whether it's email or social media or any marketing activity, really. So we do core content services. So we actually work with you. It's not like we're an agency where we come up with ideas for you. You have to tell us what to do, and then we'll execute perfectly, basically. So
nice.
Yeah. So I think we have some of our content subscribers here in our webinar, but yeah. So this is something that we'll also be implementing on your accounts. So that I think that's the beauty of being subscribed to the content subscription, because any new feature in coreILLA will just basically implement on your account.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Well, We are actually 5 minutes before the top of the hour. Joel, when is our next webinar? And
April
I think you
3rd.
said it's an AI webinar.
Mm-hmm.
April
April
3rd.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
I love the AI webinars, and I'm being totally serious. I find them fascinating. Joel has completely done the deep dive into AI and has taught me quite a lot. So I'm looking forward to April 3rd. Hopefully I can attend it in person, but if not, I'll watch it like I do most of the webinars. And then I think we'll be announcing a full calendar of webinars that will be coming up soon. So if there are any topics that you want us to cover, I know there's, again, we have a great audience here. If there are any topics, just let us know. We're happy to cover any topics. We're going to start having regular product-oriented webinars where we just start highlighting features, and we're going to hopefully start that
Ezra,
in April.
we started, we talked about years ago. I don't know if you remember, but I think we need to just make it the webinar Wednesday where we just have people on, asking questions. We do a, a deep dive in Core Store or Core Force or whatever. Just have somebody, an expert here, and we can just have it. It's not a webinar. It's more of a lab. You know what I mean? I think that would be really cool. Yeah. So, but we want to know what you guys want. We don't want to just, come up here and show you things that you're not interested in. So if it's Core Store or Core Force or coreILLA, or if you want really some boring talk about finance, right? So we can do CoreClear. We can have people talking about, oh my gosh, I hate math. No, but seriously, we could do that. So if you guys have any interest in anything, let us know. We want to do this for you. We're not, obviously, we're not doing this for our health. We want to really give you something of value.
Let's do the first one a week after next, and I'll do Core Store with a focus on the buyer assistant. It's
perfect,
and purchasing and receiving in general. So
Charles, yes, Q&A, absolutely.
Yeah,
that is awesome. So did you say next week?
No, the week after.
Okay,
we'll do the week after next. We'll
April
try
3rd.
to kick it off from there, and then maybe. What's that? Oh, is that the same day as the AI?
He's trying to elbow me out, y'all. It kind of hurts my feelings
No.
sometimes. And other times I'm
I thought next. I'm mixed up. I was thinking next week is April. So we can do it. So let's do it. Let's do it next week then, if we don't have anything going on next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So March 27th.
And then
we'll do it.
the week after April 3rd, let's do a coreILLA lab.
Okay.
And again, we'll choose the focus, because we don't want to be all over the place, right? So we're going to stick to, with Core Store, we're going to stick to specifically purchasing, receiving, and the buyer. Focus on the buyer assistant.
That's okay. Perfect.
And then the coreILLA topic, since we're talking emails, let's focus that on building email campaigns in coreILLA, and specifically some of the advanced features, how to do drip campaigns, how to warm up your servers.
That would be cool.
Dive, A/B testing. Nobody really understands what that means. So yeah, let's do we'll do that the week after the April 3rd webinar.
So we've got literally a solid month of webinars planned now, or workshops, or whatever. It's going to be fun. We just
did it. Yeah.
I don't think we're probably not going to be here April 10th though, because the solar eclipse is going to take us all out, right? Hey, Ezra, I'm really excited. My dad and I are taking a picnic, going out to this massive field. And,
are you?
And we're going to eat in the dark, right? It's going to be really cool. I mean, we're going to see it. We're not right in the totality, but I think we're like 90%. So it's going to be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. Is anybody else looking forward to it?
How long is that lasting? I haven't.
It's like from 1:45 to like a little after 2.
Okay.
But I want to go out and really experience, because I hear that all kinds of stuff happens. Like nature kind of knows, it gets a little cooler. Bees, they either go back home or they land. You know what I mean? Because it's like they're smart. Wildlife. I'm really excited. Is anybody else excited about the solar eclipse? We got to wait another
I'm
20
not.
years to see it. You're not?
I'm not, just because I don't know. Maybe anyway. It gets dark. I'm like, I don't know.
That's so cool. We don't even have to go to Alaska to see what they live like.
Dude, I can just go into a windowless room and I'll be in the dark. I can just put my Apple VR headset on and create that effect too. So,
Hey, actually, that's what I'm
right?
going to do. I'm going to do that in the field. If there's
Nice.
cell service, I'm going to have some live streams up, and I'm going to record that. It's going to be one of our videos. So yeah, I was planning on that as
Interesting.
well. Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool, I think. But yeah, we'll see.
Oh,
We
we
don't
did
know
have
how
a question about webinar recordings. The webinar recording is absolutely available. It's being streamed live to YouTube. So
Yep.
it is on our YouTube channel. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. All you need to do is go to YouTube and type in Coreware LLC. Our channel comes up, and click subscribe. Or I think it's at Coreware, actually. If you type that in the search result in YouTube,
Right.
our channel comes right up. And yes, everything is recorded. Yeah, make sure, Joel, you have your welding helmet on.
I've got some glasses.
Oh, that's good. Cool.
Hey, I'm going to share our channel in the chat there, so everybody can go on right now. Everybody go on right now.
Yeah, if
Click on
everyone
that
goes
link.
on right now, we should end up with at least 500 more subscribers.
Oh yeah, 500 easy with as many people that's on here right
Easy.
now.
Yeah.
If everyone
easily.
told 300 people apiece. No, I'm just joking. Hey, Wits, great job. So for the next 3-4 labs webinars, it's going to be myself, Ezra, Wits. So you'll see us again throughout the month. It's going to be a great time. Thank you, Stephanie. Cool.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, you know what, Stephanie? Send something nice to Stephanie. She literally became our 750th subscriber.
I'm still waiting on hats. And I know there's some people out there
Well,
waiting on
make
hats.
sure you
Do we
get
have anything at the
Stephanie's
office
info.
guys? Office guys.
We always have stuff. We have pens. I
There
think.
we go. Stephanie, email me. Stephanie, email me and I will make sure that you get something sent your way. Coreware, I've got it. You're a little too fast there. Thank you, Joel. You guys may see that. That's what happens if we're on the back end, it's noticing that both of us are doing this anyway. Wits, do you have anything?
Yeah, Wits,
No.
give us some parting words of wisdom.
All right. For basically, if you're going through something, just go through with it. That's why you call it going through something. And then once you get through, you're done.
Ezra, that's why I've been telling you we absolutely need to drug test. Wits, how many fairies are in the room with you right now? Or trolls?
7.
Hey, at least he's only saying 7. That's good.
Right.
You passed.
Awesome. All right, guys.
No, those are good words of wisdom. Go
Very
through
good.
it. Joel, go through it. All right. Hey, Joel, guess what?
What?
I'm gonna be seeing you.
I know. We're excited.
Yeah.
We've got a whole plan.
Good. Better be a good party. Friday.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Hey, we'll do a Corecast from Shreveport. So
it's gonna be, hey, everything's already planned. It's gonna be a really
cool.
good time.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.